Did you know the man hailed as the father of the atomic bomb spent the rest of his life haunted by his creation? This is the story of J. Robert Oppenheimer, a brilliant mind who unlocked the power of the atom, only to be tormented by the destructive force he unleashed upon the world. Imagine this: a vast, empty desert in New Mexico, July 16, 1945. A countdown echoes in the pre-dawn silence. At the center of it all is Oppenheimer, his face a mixture of anticipation and dread. Then, a flash brighter than 1,000 suns, a silent, terrifying mushroom cloud unfurling into the sky. In that moment, as the ground trembled beneath him, Oppenheimer wasn't thinking of victory. A line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, flashed through his mind. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." This wasn't a celebration, it was a premonition of the profound burden he would carry for the rest of his days. But who was this complex man before he became a symbol of atomic terror? Born in New York City in 1904, Robert Oppenheimer was a true prodigy. He was reading philosophy in Greek and Latin by the age of 10 and graduated from Harvard in just 3 years. His intellect was staggering. He went on to study theoretical physics in Europe, rubbing shoulders with giants like Max Born and Niels Bohr, becoming a leading figure in the quantum revolution that was changing our understanding of the universe. He was charismatic, cultured, and driven by an insatiable curiosity about the fundamental nature of reality. By the 1930s, he had established a world-renowned school of theoretical physics at the University of California, Berkeley. He was a star, but his destiny was about to take a dark and dramatic turn. As World War II raged and fears mounted that Nazi Germany was developing its own nuclear weapon, the United States launched the top-secret Manhattan Project. And who did they choose to lead the scientific effort at the clandestine Los Alamos laboratory? The brilliant but unproven Oppenheimer. It was a monumental task. He had to bring together the greatest scientific minds of a generation, manage thousands of personnel in a remote, high-pressure environment, and solve unprecedented scientific and engineering challenges. Oppenheimer proved to be a masterful leader, inspiring his team with his sharp intellect and unwavering focus. He drove them forward, united by the terrifying possibility of what would happen if their enemies got the bomb first. Under his direction, they raced against time, turning abstract theories into a tangible, terrifying reality. The goal was clear: create the weapon to end the war. When the atomic bombs were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945, the war did end. For many, Oppenheimer was a hero who had saved countless American lives. But for Oppenheimer himself, the initial relief was quickly overshadowed by a deep and gnawing horror. The reports from Japan detailed unimaginable destruction and human suffering. The cities were erased, and the death toll climbed into the hundreds of thousands. He had known the bomb would be powerful, but the reality of its use on civilian populations was a moral abyss he hadn't fully fathomed. He met with President Truman shortly after the war, reportedly telling him, "Mr. President, I feel I have blood on my hands." Truman, unimpressed, dismissed his moral crisis. The celebration of victory felt hollow to the man who had made it possible. The destroyer of worlds was now trapped in a world he had irrevocably changed. In the years that followed, Oppenheimer transformed from a weapon maker into a passionate advocate for nuclear control. He saw the terrifying future his creation had unlocked, a world living under the constant threat of annihilation, an arms race between superpowers that could spiral out of control. He used his platform to warn against the development of even more powerful weapons, like the hydrogen bomb, arguing for international cooperation and transparency. He believed that the only way to manage this new atomic age was through open dialogue and a global commitment to peace. He argued that secrecy was the enemy, and that only a shared understanding of the danger could prevent catastrophe. His stance was clear: humanity's wisdom must catch up with its technological prowess, or we would face extinction. But his calls for restraint and his past political associations made him powerful enemies. During the height of the Cold War and the anti-communist paranoia of the McCarthy era, Oppenheimer's loyalty was questioned. In a highly publicized and deeply humiliating security hearing in 1954, His past was dissected, his character attacked, and his pleas for nuclear sanity were twisted into signs of disloyalty. His former colleagues, including Edward Teller, the father of the hydrogen bomb, testified against him. In the end, his security clearance was revoked. The man who had given America its ultimate weapon was now declared a security risk, cast out from the very government he had served so devotedly. It was a brutal and public betrayal that broke him. He was silenced, sidelined from the policy discussions he felt a desperate responsibility to influence. Stripped of his public influence, Oppenheimer retreated into a more private life, but the shadow of the bomb never left him. He became the director of the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, a haven for intellectual pursuit. But those who knew him saw a changed man. The vibrant, confident leader of Los Alamos was gone, replaced by a more somber, melancholic figure. He was often described as a ghost, haunted by his past. In his writings and speeches, he spoke with a kind of sad wisdom about the paradox of science, its power to create and its equal power to destroy. He wrestled with the profound ethical questions that his work had raised. What is the responsibility of a scientist? Can we control the technologies we create? His life became a living testament to the moral consequences of scientific discovery, a cautionary tale for all of humanity. Oppenheimer passed away in 1967, his public reputation only partially restored. But his legacy is more relevant today than ever. We live in a world still shadowed by thousands of nuclear weapons, a world where scientific advancements in fields like artificial intelligence and genetic engineering raise similar profound ethical questions. Oppenheimer's story is not just about the atomic bomb. It's a timeless warning about the double-edged sword of human ingenuity. It forces us to ask ourselves, are we creating things that will ultimately save us or destroy us? His life serves as a powerful reminder that with great knowledge comes an even greater responsibility. The destroyer of worlds spent his life trying to save the world from his own creation, a tragic, compelling, and deeply human struggle that continues to echo through our modern age. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures. We'd love to have you with us. See you in the next one.